I don't care about Call of Duty whatsoever, honestly, but I can recognize a significant shift when it comes. Call of Duty hasn't been on a Nintendo platform in 13 years, and that's sort of the point. Call of Duty hasn't been on the Nintendo platform in 13 years. That's a long time to not be associated with Nintendo in any way, shape, or form for a third party franchise, especially a franchise as massive on the pill as Call of Duty is. So that's crazy that Switch 2, it's finally back. Now, was it contractually obligated to show up on a Nintendo platform? Yes, they have a 10-year deal. Microsoft and Nintendo have a 10-year deal in place for Call of Duty to show up. And it was a question of when, not if. But technically, they didn't have to bring the latest one to a Nintendo platform. Microsoft could have pulled an EA and gave the Switch 2 a 2-year old version of Call of Duty. They could have gave it Modern Warfare 2 and called it like a HD super remaster. And technically, that would have done it, but the fact that they chose Modern Warfare 4, the latest one, to make an appearance on the Nintendo console again says a lot. It speaks to a bigger point about third parties recognizing Nintendo as a legitimate home for their titles, not just PlayStation, not just Steam, not just Xbox, definitely not Steam Deck, because no one is going to recognize Steam Deck after that price hike. But it's it's seen as one of the big boys by Microsoft. In a way, this is an even bigger deal than the Final Fantasy franchise returning to Nintendo Switch 2 in a big way, not just in a spin-off way, but an actual numbered title with remake, 7 rebirth, and 7 part remake part 3 Electric Boogaloo, wherever that's going to be called. Because at the very least, the Final Fantasy IP retains some sort of presence on on older Nintendo hardware, whether it be the 3DS or Wii U, maybe, or Wii, but stuff like Crystal Chronicles and stuff like that. Call of Duty was completely absent since the Wii U. And that's partially because it was on the Wii U, which sold so badly. I bought it, but like other than me, like 10 other people bought it. So that kind of spooked them, spooked Activision from even daring to try and pit a Call of Duty on a Nintendo platform. So that's crazy. Like I said, that Modern Warfare 4, day and date, supposedly 60 FPS. I mean, it would have to be 60 FPS because it's going to have cross-play and cross-progression on top of that. And on top of that, it's going to use mouse controls, which might actually give Nintendo players the advantage over other players. And it doesn't stop there because last week, during the Dragon Quest anniversary, Dragon Quest 12 was announced. Its reboot was announced because apparently the original version that it was just a title that got announced, a title logo that was announced years ago had to get scrapped. Kind of like how Metroid Prime 4, the original vision of that had to get scrapped and rebooted. So hopefully 12 turns out good. People are already complaining about the way the main character looks and saying it's something that's alien to what we've seen before in Dragon Quest character design wise. Not considering the fact that Akira Toriyama, before he passed, also designed this character too. The lead character in Dragon Quest 12. But the point is that is very, very likely coming to Switch 2. Dragon Quest Monsters Wizard World is also confirmed for Switch 2, and I think Switch 1 as well. So we're just seeing more and more evidence of stable, huge, triple A, megaton third party support for Switch 2. And we're probably going to see more of it this week with Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest on Friday and the Xbox Showcase on the weekend, and even in a roundabout way, the Sony State of Play tomorrow, or when this video is being recorded tomorrow. So the future is looking really bright. And something neat that I came out in an interview last week with the director of Pragmata, Yong Hee Cho, was he basically said that he would love to do, in so many words, but love to do a sequel to Pragmata, to Capcom's Pragmata. And hopefully that happens. Hopefully the game continues to sell well. So we can see that because that game ended in a way which could lend itself to a sequel with Diana. And part of the reason why it's sold as well as it has is because it was put on the Switch too. So more than likely, if a sequel does get greenlit, that would also come to Switch 2 as well. So it's just a really good thing to see where Nintendo is now with their partners compared to where they were before during the dark times of like Wii U and even like Wii, where franchises like Final Fantasy, Call of Duty, um, Dragon Quest, Tales of would have no you. There would be no chance that you would see a Nintendo logo in the trailer or at the end of a trailer for them, let alone the latest version of them. So that's where we're at now. Thankfully, that's where we're at now.